Okay, I know it says we're getting started in a minute, so stream, I'm sorry if I've caught you off guard, but we're just gonna get started right now because we're already off to a great start this evening. I have no idea what that was. So, last time I saw this song in the playlist on Spotify that I have for when we're doing intros and stuff, and I was like, oh, I must have added that like when I was at work or something, looking through songs to add to the Blades in the Dark playlist. I've never heard that song before. I've never seen or heard or whatever it is. Little Shop
Wish
of
I'd never
Horrors.
heard it.
But it just came on, and I didn't know. I didn't have the heart to change it. So I don't know if someone got access to the playlist, which it is now going to be secret, so no one else can touch it. But well, I'm just glad we're here on Skid Row in downtown. How's everyone doing this week? Anthony, how are you, man?
I'm great. Inspired by that jaunty tune there.
Yeah.
Feels like we were here just yesterday, but nice long weekends.
Yeah.
Back at it. Krispy Kreme. Ready to play some Blades in the Dark.
Mm. Yeah. Cool, man. Emily, how about you?
I'm pretty good. Only mildly fatigued from the long weekend and lots of non-sleeping that occurred, but It was good. And it's pretty funny because I told you about this, Matt, but I had a dream about our Blades in the Dark campaign, but not because it didn't have anything to do with what we're actually doing. It had to do with discovering that Carrie Fisher is like a crazy billionaire who has a giant mountain hotel where she bakes cupcake grenades and makes synthetic masks of other actresses. So your favorite actress may very well be Carrie Fisher in disguise. This somehow had something to do with our campaign, and I don't know what.
I'm trying to figure out where the connection is, personally.
Yeah.
Nope.
I feel it.
Carrie Fisher is Oscar. That was supposed to be later on. That was supposed to be the big reveal, but yeah.
To my knowledge, Carrie Fisher has not appeared in the Blades in the Dark world.
Yeah. At least not yet. This could be a prophetic vision. I don't know. Just a little something for
unless Carrie Fisher is playing like Satara or something like that.
Ooh. Yeah, she can be my demon friend.
Carrie Fisher, my demon friend.
Yeah, back when we were playing Age of Rebellion, I dreamed once about our campaign, and this dream had very little to do with anything at all that I can currently tell, but maybe it will be the first of many. Who knows?
Wow.
Yep.
Mike, how about you, man?
I'm good. I was listening to better music than was played before we started a little while ago.
I don't know if that exists.
They make better music than that.
It's not difficult to find better music than that, as I'm sure at least Ian would agree with me on.
My favorite part was when they said downtown.
There's a lot.
I liked when they said Skid Row.
Mm.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was the other real hit line.
Yeah. I stumbled across a guy on the Facebooks who is a rapper. He goes by the name Cryptic Wisdom.
Cryptic Command.
I thought his stuff was good. I liked what I heard with my ear canals. I like rap. It's good.
Anthony, why do you just have Cryptic Commands like ready? You're just like, oh, Cryptic Command? Here they are.
It's a sign, man.
You never know when you're going to need a Cryptic Command.
They're just waiting for you.
Gosh.
But excellent. Also there is a magic card that I was more excited about than Matt or Anthony was excited about.
I mean,
yeah,
cool.
both you and your brother were both like, yo, Matt. Like, your brother messaged me earlier this morning. He was like, dude, have you seen this? And I was like, yeah, it's fine, I guess.
The art is
cool. I still think it's a really good card. Hello, Jay Morris, 88.
Hello.
Welcome, Magic the Gathering stream.
Hell yeah. Put that on the stream.
Oh, but yeah, I'm excited to play more Blades in the Dark. I have also continued to play that new Hitman snazzy game.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having quite a lot of fun with that. There's only, well, technically there's 4 environments that you can play in, 3 whole levels, but I've just been, murdering people in various ways. Like just the other day, I poisoned a woman's cocktail with rat poison. It made her sick. Then she went to the bathroom, and I drowned her in a toilet.
That's lovely, Michael.
What more could you want?
Wow.
Couldn't you just kill her by poisoning her?
I mean, I
could
couldn't
kill her in a
find
lot of
any,
ways.
I couldn't find any lethal poison on the premises, so rat poison had to do.
Well, rat poison's like lethal if you use enough of it. You just needed to give her a bigger cocktail.
Yeah, pretty much, But yep, I did that. It was fun. It's a good game. Check it out. Let's play Blades in the Dark.
Yeah. Ian, how about you, man?
My week has been okay. I have missed work twice in the last week because people haven't told me that it was canceled. So I'm still a little salty about that. I've also been sitting on Twitter and YouTube watching this whole drama go down with the CSGO betting site stuff.
Dude, that's
I'm just like,
Quality.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
I was
It
watching
is.
the co-optional podcast earlier today, and
of course.
they talked about it for a good while, and yeah,
People are shitty.
it's an
TV made a good
interesting
video
situation.
on it.
Yeah.
It was
Also,
insightful.
people are upset about the sport ball recently.
Which one? There's many sports.
The one with the round one that you put in the
that's several.
basket.
Oh, basketball. That's what they call it.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's sport ball.
Okay.
They're upset about a sports ball player going to another team.
Right. Kevin Durant went to
It's kinda
the
bullshit.
Warriors!
from
Come out
OKC,
to play.
and they're pretty upset about that for some reason.
Well, Lil B lifted the curse. That's all that really matters. Because I wouldn't want to see
Yeah, that's
him bring
true.
that curse to a new team, you know?
That's true. I saw that tweet earlier. I was like, bless. It was so good.
There's plenty of controversy to talk about over the past week.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of controversy, I had work off today. Woo! Yeah, and so I didn't work. In fact, I hadn't showered until like about an hour ago, and I played a lot of DayZ today, which was fun. And yeah, so next week I'm going to be gone with Ian and several other people to go do counseling at a youth camp in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. And so this will not be occurring next week. There will be no Blades next Tuesday, so remind yourself of that. Perhaps Mike will stream something, or Anthony will stream something, or Emily will stream something fun while we are gone. But Blades in the Dark will be on hold next week. But because of this thing that's coming up, and me generally getting tired of being around people pretty quick, this week was a really good break for me to take some time and just kind of be away from people and invest far too many hours into mindless video games. So, which was a really good way for me to get charged up and ready to go into a week of busy work and then a week of hanging around with like teenagers all week and trying to be as energetic as they are, which good luck.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So I played a lot of Civilization 5. I played Civ 5 one campaign on I don't remember which night it was anymore. My whole weekend's a blur. On one of those nights, and I lost. It was sad. I've never lost in a game of Civ 5, so it was weird to lose. I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Wait,
And then,
to a computer?
yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah, I got wrecked.
Woo.
I was doing the science victory, and I got spawned between the Incans and the Russians, who are both like really aggressive groups.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have 2 cities. I just want to learn. And they're
What
like,
about the
kill.
science?
So, so they killed. And then I got motivated. Actually, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning at that point, and I got done and I was like, crap, I can't believe I lost. So I got onto like all sorts of forums to figure out like the best way to do a science victory, and I was like, tomorrow it's happening. So in the next day, I marathoned from about 3 p.m. until midnight, one campaign of Civ 5, and I beat it. So yeah, I did a scientific victory, and Emily is ashamed. Yeah, my only breaks to go see humans were to go see Emily, so that was good. I appreciated that. And all other moments of my life were spent sleeping, eating, or playing video games, which was just excellent. Played a lot of DayZ, and it's actually good now. It used to not
Saw
be.
me too, but I guess that don't count.
True. I did see you. And we played some Magic. Yeah, it's actually really fun now. They fixed it. They had a pretty big patch come out here recently. And it fixed a lot of the issues that made the game basically unplayable. And yeah, and so the game is now like
It's only partially unplayable.
like I think
I'll
I've only
take it.
lost one item in the time I've played, and that's because of a known glitch with throwing a gun off of a balcony. And I've played with a couple of friends, and that's been a lot of fun. What's funny is like my one friend who played the game a lot anyway and wanted to play with me. He was out of town in Idaho this weekend, and I've just been like marathoning the game. So he was pretty upset with me that he came back and I was like fully geared up and ready for action. So
I jumped onto a server with Matt, but spawned on like the complete opposite side of the world from him.
True. Yeah.
Oops.
Started jogging.
Yeah. You walked for a while, and then you're like, I'm going to bed.
I was late. I was tired.
That
It
sounds
was
like
late.
that game to me.
Yeah.
I had a nice little jog.
And then
saw-
you were exhausted.
You saw some
Had to
players.
sleep.
I did. There was a player who looked like he had recently spawned too, because he was in starting gear, didn't have
Same
any.
hat.
But yeah, but he was running in the opposite direction from me. Thankfully, didn't have to kill him. So
Nice.
I also have not killed anyone in the game, but I have shot at somebody. He was running at me, and I didn't want him to know where I was, or I didn't want him to come any closer, so I shot near him, shot at his feet, and he was like, the other way. And I was like,
He's
thank
like,
you.
nope.
The other time, there was a vehicle full of people, and they were driving right past me, and I laid down on the ground and hid. And it was frightening.
probably felt a lot like that awesome campaign map from
Modern
Call of Duty
Warfare?
Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 4.
A little bit, yeah. Back in the day when Call of Duty was cool and the campaigns
Yeah.
were sweet, yeah.
That was still probably one of my favorite shooter levels of that series that I've played.
Yeah, it's definitely good. So, all right. Well, how about we go ahead and get started with some Blades in the Dark? Mike, where did we leave off last week?
We were doing downtime last time. We had some people start on some long-term projects. We had some people not indulge their vices when they are one stress away from being traumatized.
I did do
That's
that.
cool. So, we're probably gonna get our second traumatized character this session, most likely.
Maybe.
If Matt's is playing the game properly. Ooh, just kidding. But as far as my understanding of your guys' plans go, you're wanting to try to expand your influence a little bit and try to take a claim of some sort.
That is correct.
So I've heard.
Silas specifically wants to do that.
Yeah, so we had decided we were going to flash back to just after the very first scene of last session for this. So we all have our downtime stuff, and we kind of jump into this, and depending on how long we think downtime took, maybe like a month, are you thinking? How long do you guys usually see your downtime taking in total?
Like a week.
A week?
Yeah, I think
That's how
days.
my brain goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do like
Couple weeks.
a week earlier or something like that.
Mhm.
And we're back at the Gambit bar, and I think Silas, you were the one that was going to propose a plan, if I remember right.
Yes. I was.
And Ian has a downtime thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I only did one of my downtime actions last week because We were cutting it close to time, and I couldn't think of something to do. So
And we decided to hold your downtime action.
yes, and now I have thought of it.
Let's do it.
So before we cut back to the point in time in which we figure out our next operation, Silas has, he's recently come back to the group, and he's realized some things need to change because there's some stuff that isn't being done as good as it could be. And this thing is more along the lines of something that has worked but should probably change. And so what he's going to be doing, or attempting to do, is he's trying to fix up the Gambit so that it can be turned back into a full-time bar so that we can hide our operations under legal means. Because if one thing he's learned is if you look like you're doing something legal on the outside, you can hide what you're doing illegal on the inside. So he's basically going to be trying to turn the main area of the bar into a bar, get it all reworking again, get people in there, so that the upstairs and the basement can be left for our illegal use. So that's what he's going to be trying to do.
So you want to essentially make a business front,
Yeah.
a
And
legitimate.
finally get us more alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you wanting this to, have its own income, or is this more of just a charade, to hide the income you guys make from your other operations?
I think... Go ahead.
What we have already is kind of a charade in that there is a bar out front, but like it's not really super operable. I think maybe we'd like something functional.
Yeah, and I think like what I would probably be aiming for is, definitely be aiming for something within that that we can maybe earn some coin on the side every once in a while, or at least enough to pay for our alcohol. So
Yeah. From the coin estimates in the handbook, an average take for a small business is about 6 coin a month. So we could probably work something out to try to calculate when a month has passed, and then you guys get 6 coin for the crew at that point. I think that could be fair,
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any like health codes in Duskwall that we need to know about, or like,
if there are, I don't give a shit about them. So
Well, if we want to have a
I-
legitimate front.
yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine that there's probably permits that need to be acquired.
You mean people we need to pay off?
Sure,
Same
No.
thing.
same thing, right?
Yeah.
People you need to bribe slash
It's a
threaten
legitimate
slash
charade.
kill.
how about you leave the bar to Silas? He's got this. He's maybe run a bar once, maybe, I don't know.
Do we know how like a long-term project could work if you're getting help from your crew? Is there anything in the rules for assisted long-term projects? You know what I mean?
There's stuff in the rules for
think so.
group long-term projects, I believe.
Mhm.
Like
Do
for
you-
us
think-
as a group to
Do
take
you
one.
know where that is?
In the rules.
Somewhere.
I think
I'm
Before
almost
we
sure I've
even-
seen
Ow.
something like that.
Let's see if I can find it here. But I think that's totally a doable long-term project. You are thinking of this as a long-term project, I assume.
Yeah, and I think this is something that he's kind of working on the side. It's not necessarily like, I mean, he's told the guys, like the rest of the gang, like, oh, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm gonna start looking into it real soon. If it works out, I'll let you know anything. And he's basically gonna try to be doing it like on the down low when he's got time. And how he does that, I suppose we'll find out how it goes.
Yeah.
So this is
That
something
is-
that Silas mainly wants to work on?
Yeah. Kind of where he's thinking is, for one, it hides our it lets us use our facilities with allowing us to hide it as well, because we don't want to lose that hidden kind of quality. So he's like, we can use the space since we own it technically, and we can use it for our benefit, but I want to keep it hidden. So I think this is just something where he's like, we'll see what I can do on my like, you know, downtime, and I have to kind of go shake the nearby area up anyways. So I mean, this is our turf now. He's kind of like taking the mentality of like, this is our turf, I have to patrol it, and while I'm patrolling it I can work on this. So
Sure. That's fine. Yeah, I think that, let's see, for setting up basically an entire business, I think that this might have to be another linked clock, you know?
and keep in mind, this this is all going to be done using command, which is intimidation. So within how difficult that'll be, try and maybe link that to basically Silas being scary, which I imagine it'll be.
Your command is pretty good, isn't it?
Yes.
I think that, let's see, I'm trying to think about like all the steps that would have to be required. You'd have to acquire, you know, property permits, basically saying that you legitimately own the property, and probably just permits to serve food and alcohol would probably be the two really important ones that you'd have to acquire. There's definitely like small, you know, inconsequential permits that are mixed in with all those, but those are the only two I think that are worthy of being counted towards. So you'd have to do that. And are you thinking about bringing on staff to man the bar?
I think that with the staff right now, he's only looking for like, I don't think, yeah, definitely some like someone that can wait on tables, and maybe what he's actually thinking is taking the role of bartender at least part-time, so that he has a legitimate cover for when people come looking for him.
Right.
Okay, I was just at this bar waiting, you know, at the bar, and like, you know, all this stuff. So
If you want to hire on someone else to help manage things, then I would say for each employee you want to hire on, they're probably going to have probably like a 2 coin a month wage. I think that sounds reasonable, you know, based off of my understanding of how much a coin is and such.
okay.
Anyone have any thoughts on that specifically?
No, I don't think we would necessarily need a specific staff member for a specific task either. I think that with this small of an operation, it could very, very easily be the bartender is also the waiter, and because you know this isn't like
Whoever's in opens
trusted
up.
guy.
And you just close it down when you guys go on scores or something like that?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're open when we're open. Sometimes we close for a couple of weeks at a time.
Well, if it's just going to be one person, Silas will run it if he needs to at first, definitely.
Yeah.
And
how
we
do you
won't serve food because I'm not going to cook and wait at the bar. So
Cooking is too complicated.
How do you see having to balance running that with like your available downtime, you know?
not that difficult right now.
Okay, because I'm trying to get a feel for how demanding on your time you want this to be, and how you foresee that affecting, like if you're gonna have less downtime actions or anything.
I
like
think
that.
this is the situation. If we're going to hire someone to do this, it at first would just be one person and Silas working, for now, so that when he needs to go out, he has this person to fall back on, as well as their normal time. So it'll be someone who wants to work overtime and stuff like that. So just one, I think one person right now that we'd hire.
Yep. And those kinds of things, you know, if this is your project, that's up to Silas really to decide. So we're gonna have this be a linked clock. You're gonna have a 6-tick clock for acquiring the proper paperwork, and another 6-tick clock for getting the bar in order. You know, acquiring the booze, cleaning up, making sure that you know, you have clean tables and glasses and things like that, and we'll probably have to sprinkle in some coin in there too, to signify you buying the supplies and stuff. So
Okay. So the first clock is, what was that going to be? It was going to be the hiring the person.
the first clock is acquiring the paperwork,
Okay.
like
Okay.
the permits and stuff.
Okay.
I don't think that necessarily hiring a person needs a clock on its own. That's just going to be something that you're just going to have to do, and his wage is going to come out of the monthly sake of the business.
All right.
So
All right then. I will try and acquire paperwork then.
Is there any way that I can help him with that?
depends on if he wants help or if, like he's saying, he wants this to all be him.
Well,
That's up to Silas.
What was that?
Do you want help?
Go ahead, Ian.
No, I was just at what was the. I didn't hear the question because I was writing something.
The question is, do you want help with that?
Do I need it? I mean, what do you want to help me intimidate a book, like a guy that works on books?
No, I suppose not. I just, this is a project that really is. It might be Silas's pet project, but it does seem like it's something that all of us would at least be aware of, because it is our bar that we're trying to make into a front for our crew. So I was just trying to see if there's a way that Oscar could help, and receiving documentation is something that he can do, maybe. But if you're going to intimidate to do it, then I think that's just a different. It wouldn't be good for me to do it.
I mean, that's more along the lines of Mike. A question for you, because I'm going to intimidate, but would him being more of the bookman be helping with this? That's just my quick question.
I think that we could definitely work in, you getting like an extra die on your roll or something, because Oscar probably knows the people that you would want to go intimidate.
Yeah.
How about, maybe this is me just like making up a rule. Well, it is, but it seems more reasonable. How about I have to roll a consort roll, and if I get a 4 to 6, then he gets the extra die. But if he, that way there's still the possibility that I'm just not that helpful, or I can't help him in that situation, which feels more realistic to me at least.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Ian, is that fine?
Sure, I was just going to accept your help, but if you want to do this, then I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your roll whenever you're ready, Matt. You can ask.
Oh, okay.
You can ask for devil's bargains or push yourself if you want.
No. Because pushing myself on getting paper would send me into trauma of trying to get this bar running. Which one just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But
yeah.
I'm gonna just roll.
John is
that's good.
jumping in here. He says setup roll is a thing, or you can help and pay 1 stress to give him an extra die.
I'm not gonna
roll. Give that stress up.
I don't know what a setup.
idea.
I don't know what a
That's a
setup
good
roll
idea.
is or how it works.
I imagine that's what we're talking about.
Literally 1 stress away from trauma at the moment, John. So.
Yeah, I don't. So how does a setup roll work? Because
Yeah. So
I don't
this
know.
is something that we've done a little bit of before. So it's in the teamwork and flashbacks section on page 17. When you perform a setup action, you have an indirect effect on the obstacle. So this is essentially a way for you to either give Ian improved effect or improved position on his roll.
Mhm.
So you have to roll like you roll consort or whatever it is you want to roll, and that way you can try to help contribute.
Okay.
To...
So what I said is how we would do it. Correctly. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I messed up, so I wasn't able to help you anyway. But
Okay.
You got a 1.
yeah.
I don't think there's any consequence.
No, as it turns out, I don't know the guy. I can't. I don't know the guy who you need to get the permit from in this district. So sorry.
Okay.
And and in this situation, I don't think there is necessarily anything on the line
Right.
for
No.
for this
Yeah,
role.
I don't think so.
So I don't think that there's any negative fallback on you for that. So yeah, you're gonna make in your command roll, Silas.
All right.
So you can, as always, you can take a Devil's Bargain or.
I am just going to do my one roll.
Sure.
Because I don't think that this is something that he's wanting to rush on. So.
5. That's decent. Let's see. On those, that's 2 ticks on the clock. Am I right?
I think so.
Let's head back to this page here. Yeah, on long-term projects, a 4 to 5 is 2 ticks. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
So I think like how this probably pans out is Silas is going to get this thing. Oscar tries to help him and he just doesn't know the guy. And so Silas is like, okay, well, I'll go find him on my own, essentially. And then he just takes off and he goes and he finds the guy who he's basically trying to acquire the rights to buy alcohol in bulk so that he can sell it. So he's still going to need paperwork after this, but I think this is probably one of those times where he gets the paperwork for the alcohol, but now he needs like the permit to sell it in the building and all this other stuff.
Sure. Yeah, so you're making progress for sure, and like you said, you're gonna chip away at this slowly as you can, right? It's not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah. And I think this is just like something that he's going to work on every once in a while. It's not something the group needs right now, so it's like, I'll do it on my free time.
Yeah, and I'll probably, by the time it happens, I'm kicking around ideas in my head for how to have this have a actual mechanical impact. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like something to do with how much heat you get probably, because you have this, fall business essentially.
Yeah.
Probably decrease the amount of heat you guys accrue in some way.
Nice.
But I'll think about it some more,
Okay. And I think like at this point, like now that the group is all done, they definitely now will flash back because Silas is just,
Yeah, so we're back to, pretty much where we were at the beginning of last session, and you were leading the way, Silas, I believe. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah. So I think this would cut back to the point where Silas has some paperwork on the table, and it's not so much printed out like info as paperwork. It's more like notes that he has scrawled about different gangs and what would be the type of thing we're going for. But essentially he's saying is let's find a gang that isn't too big. That we can just steal something like a turf from them, that we can just take what's theirs and make it ours because they can't do shit about it. So.
Okay. Yeah, and if you guys look on either the Thief's playbook or if you look on your crew tab of your character sheets, you'll see the little claims map for thieves. Those are kinds of the kinds of things that you guys have available to you. And you don't have to follow the set path if you don't want to, but if you do want to go off path, then it requires a little bit more gathering of information. So like 1 or 2 rolls will be able to get you there, but you can still do it, You don't have to follow the path.
Are they more difficult to protect if they're not on the path? Like linked to your lair?
I don't think there's anything specifically about them being more difficult to hold after you already have them.
Okay.
They're just a little bit more difficult to, gather the proper information on, and to find.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll double check real quick as you guys continue discussing what you think you want to do.
Okay. And can we take ones that then are not like, you say not on the path, but can we take one that's like adjacent to the square, or not adjacent, but like diagonal to the square? Like, could we, from having the lair, take the informant's square, for instance?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones that are connected to the square, like that you already own, are the ones you can get to without that.
Right. Well, I think we should just go for generic turf because I think what we have doesn't, or what we're doing with the bar and just trying to set up our home base. I don't think we're looking for anything in particular, just sort of more area to work in.
Yeah.
Unless,
Yeah.
is there, does anyone else have a differing opinion?
I think getting just standard turf makes sense for us at this point for the same reasons that you said.
Yeah, more of a working area for the bar to take hold and. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you guys be thinking you're looking for like another thing to seize control of, like in the same block as you, or is this something in a completely different location, do you think?
I'm not really sure how to conceptualize it because I don't have a good conceptualization of the neighborhood wherein our bar takes place.
Do we have a map or something? Like
There's-
of the city, or
You know, are we annexing something we're already close to, or are we seeing the results of our work?
So
Let me
this,
find that city map.
What do you
this
mean,
is
Anthony?
the map of Crow's.
That's what I'm asking, because you asked, if our turf. I mean, you sort of asked if it should be generic or not, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I was just thinking about that little square we had, or the little grid we
Mm-hmm.
have. Like, should it just be the generic turf, or should we go for something different?
But what I'm asking is what the other option is. And rather than it just being generic or something different, I want to know what you think because generic isn't really.
All it does, like, just to give you guys an idea about what mechanical benefit this has for you, when you take turf, that essentially decreases the amount of rep that you guys need to advance your crew.
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
The generic turf, like on the claims map, you have the ones that are just marked turf, and then you have other ones like luxury fence and things like that. As far as I understand it, those don't count as turf, like the actual turf like marker, but they give you that mechanical benefit. So it depends on whether or not you guys are going for, that way to easier advance your crew, which when you do, you can either go up a tier or further
I guess-
increase your hold on your current tier,
What
essentially.
I'm really asking is, would our last job have had an impact on the kind of turf that we would be claiming? I mean, we bombed a place, right?
So no
Right.
one knew it was you. You
Right.
guys were quiet enough that no one really knows it was you, so there was no fallback on you guys.
Yeah,
guys
and he's
did-
looking for a legitimate front, so I guess
Yeah.
You guys didn't lose
should be as
any
nondescript as
status with
possible.
anyone.
Yeah.
I should point out that the front, that like the turf that we're taking here, Silas does not care if it's legitimate or not. He's just
Right.
saying we need to take something.
But I'm
Right.
saying that might say something about our attitude about it, which I think is
Yeah.
important and is more interesting to me than just mechanically what it does.
Yeah.
Sure.
So-
Is our thought
Mhm.
process, because we'd be discussing this. What do we want out of it?
Silas's main concern is he's like, hey, we just had to have something. But
Right.
my question would be, do any of the rest of you have something specific that you want? Like, even though it's just generic turf, then you could set a picture for like the kind of structure that you're looking for,
Okay.
or like what is it that you guys are looking to get, even if it is just generic turf, as I'm saying.
I think. Do we want to get closer to the ports? I mean, I don't. So where are we on that map? You put?
That has not been decided yet.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
something that has never been discussed.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like we might want to be close. Like, we might want to acquire some like dock property. Maybe
Oh,
that's maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but that would be a really good way for us to get alcohol in easier,
Yeah.
as
Moonshine.
well as other stuff later on.
So
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
we're in Crowsfoot, right?
right, I just pulled up the whole city of Duskfall.
Yeah.
So I just had a zoomed-in map of Crowsfoot, but this gives you a little bit more of an idea of where Crowsfoot is in relation to the rest of the city.
Okay.
So you could definitely try to find something that's like on the river or on one of
Mhm.
those small canals,
Yeah. I think
Okay.
Silas would definitely be like, as soon as he hears that idea, like, yeah, let's go for that. That
Yeah.
gives us like a trade route that we can monitor
Mhm.
ourselves.
And
Sure.
an alternate means of travel as well.
Potentially, yeah. If we get a boat and stuff, that would work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well, Lyric is pretty comfortable with the dock life, so so I imagine that would probably be agreeable to her as well.
What cases would be pushing for like, not like against an industrial look or location, but he'd be pushing for something
Fancy.
as well, yeah, but as legitimate looking as possible. He wants somebody to walk in the door and give them work. He doesn't like hiding.
Right.
He wants
Mhm.
his name to be somewhere.
Sure.
I don't know if that means that the group pushes against that, or if we don't do that, if it's ignored because it's not a good idea, or what. But when he's given A and B, he's going to pick the one with the big fancy sign.
Yeah. Well. And what sort of big fancy sign would Wacasis like? Like, what sort of thing does he want to?
I mean, I think that means that the difference might be not necessarily residential versus industrial, but like further away from the dirtiest part of the docks and closer to where foot traffic would be.
So like maybe
where people
one
are.
of those canals, but like with some sort of Wacasis's bar and grill
Yes.
sign.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a
Yes.
Tostino.
sorry,
Something-
Bilbo's bar and grill.
Something that he thinks
Yeah.
will eventually lead to him being able to point at it and say, "That's mine. I made
Sure,
that."
Mhm.
sure. Okay.
That's
Sure.
his agenda.
So
Mhm.
do Wacasis and like maybe Lyric go do some like retail shopping, like some curb appeal shopping for
Shopping.
a spot and find like a like if I don't know if that's how this would work, but if that's how it works, like what do you think you would have found? Describe the place to me.
That's a good question. So we're looking
So-
at like the canals, not necessarily like.
Yeah, let's say we're looking at the North Canal in Crowsfoot. Like we're looking near, closer to Char Hollow, but we're like, see that little
Okay.
bridge? We're near that
Yep.
bridge.
And if that's where you guys are looking for your current turf, just so we can kind of have an idea, where do you envision the Gambit is? The bar.
Mhm.
Where is that little map of
Rosefoot side.
Crowsfoot?
It is right there.
I think we would want to be. I know, like this would be something we would have thought of in advance. We want to be somewhere where the other gangs aren't, or at least is like somewhere where we can be away from them.
Yeah,
That little-
that's kind of how I pictured it
That
anyway.
little bridge is up in the top right side, right?
Correct.
With that
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
So then we're looking either northeast or southwest-ish area,
Mm-hmm.
looking to be away from other gangs.
Maybe like.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was.
So okay,
no.
I'm thinking that I don't imagine the Gambit is like a very big thing at all.
No.
It's not.
So I imagine that like maybe it's like right there, like that's the
Sure.
Gambit,
Mhm.
and then like
Sure.
the place we're trying to take is like some like a little shop like there.
yeah.
Like it's maybe like a small apartment building with like 2 apartments in it, and the main floor is like a boutique of some sort of stuff or something.
I know that within what we're grabbing, Silas would always be pushing for something that another gang has, no matter like what it be. No matter if it's like, I mean, it could even be something like what Casis is saying is something that other gangs have.
Mhm.
So it's like almost like
Do you mean
We
something
could
that they possess
Yeah.
that we're taking from them, or something
Yeah.
that they have that like makes them a big deal?
either one. He's more going for something that would potentially hurt them and build us up. Is what he's
So
saying.
literally takes something of their status away
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that being said, with this we're looking to acquire turf from some unknown gang that's less than us, correct?
Well, we have, we definitely have the faction list
Yeah.
that you guys have to choose from.
Yeah.
So are you wanting to try to push in on a faction you have literally no involvement with in the past, or you're looking to get involved with someone that you maybe have had dealings with before?
I think it would be someone we don't know.
Okay.
Or I think that at least it would be independent of whether we know them or not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure.
because I think that what we're looking for is just we need to establish our foothold. It doesn't matter who from, so long as they're just another one of these schmucks, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe
just-
what cases uses like a list of gambling debts as a
Ooh.
realty source.
That's a great idea.
He'd have access to that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, presumably you've had a couple notices come to your door.
hey, I need a new door.
So I'm looking. Are you still thinking like Criminal Underworld? We're probably looking at a tier 1.
Tier 1, maybe tier 2, depending on who would actually own this place.
Because the red
preferably,
sessions are
preferably
already.
we're looking for tier 1, I think.
Yeah,
I know that, knowing what Silas knows, he would not specifically be going for Ulf Ironborn, since that man is literally a tier 1 gang on his own.
Yeah, he's one
Um,
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Us against him.
So it sounds like maybe the Foghounds. 'cause
Well, I'm
you guys
trying
have
to
a positive
look up
influence.
like who these are again because I don't.
Faction
remember.
list 2 will show it.
Also,
It's like
page
optional.
45.
Yeah.
Thank you. So wait, we're
The
looking at the
Foghounds.
Foghounds. A crew of rough smugglers looking for a patron. It could be because that would make sense with what we're trying to do with having some
Yeah.
sort of little dock access.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
this is
And
probably just a
just-
little like I said, maybe like some sort of boutique or something that is their front for smuggling
Yeah,
some stuff, or
yeah.
like, you know, I mean, what cases? What do you want it to be? Like, you know, you want your name on it. What is it?
I feel like Wacasis is not looking at it rationally and would love a cafe.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, like it has so little. Oh, it says so much potential.
Yeah. And I think like the cases, I imagine like would this be one of the situations where we're like at a table looking through all these notes and stuff, and you're like that one.
Oh yeah.
I
I want
imagine.
that.
I imagine
No,
too.
no, no,
like,
no. He'd have a big stack, and he'd pull them out, and he'd sort of be disinterested. But then he'd like put the one on the top, and he'd just keep putting it back up at the top of the conversation every time.
and perhaps like he's just really hungry and keeps thinking about a cafe, and he's like, this one seems good. maybe Lyric and I should go check it out.
and just to make sure you guys know, you don't have to take a turf by force, right? You can do it by, talking your way into something as well,
Yeah.
So just want to make sure that you guys know those options are on the table. If you
Sure.
want to maybe try to become the patron of the Foghounds, which is very unlikely, because you guys are a tier 0 gang and they're a tier 1, so I don't
We
think
don't have much to offer them.
so.
Not yet.
I know that whether or not, a specific solution that isn't fighting is offered, Silas will always choose the other that wasn't offered, which is fighting. So no matter what you guys do,
Silas wants to mess some stuff up.
he's not like, let's go and assimilate another group through business means and buy them off and like essentially like do a hostile takeover. He's like, my hostile takeover is I go in, I kill everyone, I own their stuff now.
Ambitious. That's us.
Do you know if there's anything in the playbook, in the rules at the moment, that kind of gives an idea about how much turf each tier level of gang has to their name? Like, if it's tier 1 gang, how much turf do you think they have?
Well, I think,
Because if you take 1 turf from, how big a deal is that to them,
I imagine it's probably like 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most turf.
Yeah.
So
It's a big deal.
yeah, it's gonna be something where they're like, oh no, like what?
So, and with these guys being smugglers, having a piece of turf by the docks definitely makes sense, because they
Yeah.
probably use the
Yeah.
canals for smuggling.
Now,
Mhm.
I'm looking at page 49 in the rule books where it has sort of a shorthand version of everyone's stuff, and it doesn't mention that the Foghounds have anything. Obviously, we're just including that because it makes sense. But like, do we want to? Is there anything else of note that they would have that we would know about? Or do I need to do like some sort of study roll or something to figure that out? Or
Maybe would this be one of the situations where we would have been? I imagine Wacasis has probably been to this cafe. He's like, oh, they got nice little biscuits that I eat every Saturday,
Croissant.
and he was in there, and maybe he saw a foghound and was like, that's not supposed to be here.
Only biscuits.
I'm just saying, Silas wouldn't
Only
go
my
to a
croissants.
cafe. Okay, then you died.
Well, and one thing we have to remember too is that like most everyone in Duskfall is related somehow to like every gang. So like I don't think that it would be super weird for him to find a Foghound in a cafe. Just like it wouldn't be weird for them to find a Gambit in the cafe. But like,
Well, they're technically, allowed there, but they're scum. So why would they ever go to a cafe with such lovely croissants?
oh, okay, perfect. This is a croissant reclamation.
Yes, it is.
We are going to
Lovely.
be the breadwinners.
Oh, perfect! Wow, 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Michael, that's a good pun there. You need to learn.
I give applause.
Yeah, I get to marry her. Nice. 10 out of 10.
Rolled like 2 6s on that one. Yeah,
Woo.
critical. All right, so we're thinking something by the canals. Are you thinking like it sounds like a cafe, something like that?
Mhm.
No,
It's
Miss-
Miss Edna's.
they said this cafe.
Or Mademoiselle Edna.
Yeah.
Because it's fancy.
Big Mama's biscuits.
Big Mama's Biscuits. All right.
Yes.
What cases? What is it? This is your cafe.
It's Big
so
Mama's
what
This
is
is
it?
my.
Big Mama
You're buying me a
Bilbo's
cafe.
biscuits.
We're buying you a cafe, my man. You know, what do you want this to
I
be
mean-
named?
Buying. I mean, with blood, maybe. Lots of
Cool.
it. All over my
Let's,
face.
What's the neighborhood called one more time?
What's that? What?
Let's
The name
try.
can come later. We'll come up with the name.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say let's try to get on the action on this.
Okay.
So, what kind of plan are we going for here, guys?
Remind me where the
Ooh,
plans are
that's a
in the
good
rulebook.
question.
Probably, it sounds like Silas is going for an assault plan. Kick
Rem-
down the door and beat some fools up and say this is ours now, right?
You read minds, don't you, sir?
And what
This
you
is not hard to
literally
read.
said.
Yeah.
You
How do
speak
you
your
do
mind.
it?
You accurately retell what I say in detail.
I've
listen
seen
to
Peaky
you.
Blinders. I know how these things go.
Is there? So I've done this pretty much every time we've done a move, but this is kind of the only way in which, or one of few ways in which Oscar is like super helpful when we do this. Is there any way that Oscar could like have some knowledge about the Foghounds and sort of which one of these plans might be the most effective against them in this particular location?
What
Because
kind of-
like he's happy to hear that Silas wants to go punch somebody, but there like there's so many options, and maybe punching someone a little bit is the best plan, or a whole lot.
Right.
I just want to.
Murder
It would
them.
be of Oscar's personality to want to double check this thing and like
Or
see.
another
Sure.
plan, you know?
You think that you want to do a study roll or something for that?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's like gather information or something. I don't know how we gather information, but
Um.
I know that's a
See.
separate thing somewhere.
Yeah, gather information is like more of you roll based off of whatever you want, and then I can give you different qualities of information depending on how well you do. So
I'm gonna go ahead and roll consort because I think that in this case, this would be a case of Oscar talking to his contacts, and like the contacts that he has met throughout his time with doing some investigations, and kind of just asking about the Foghounds. So
sure.
and I'm not gonna push myself.
Dang it.
Sorry.
Good call, Matt.
You though.
Yeah, thanks.
I could probably assist if you want.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Well, wait, unless that does that put me at stress?
It always gives me stress. Every
Depends
time
on
someone helps
how
me.
depends on how he wants to help.
Okay.
It seems like he could just take.
Assist, you take
think
a
I'd-
stress,
I'd-
you give a die. Yeah.
I'd give him leads, right?
Right. So if you want
Like-
to take a stress for cases, then you can give him a die.
Yeah, I'll do that.
My man.
Good pal.
What a good guy. Hey, buy the really buttery croissant when you go.
That's
Is there
his
any
tip.
other kinds?
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 then to my consort roll.
Yep. My man.
Thanks, Anthony.
All right. So 4 to 5, pretty standard information. It seems like, you guys would already know that they're looking for a patron. And so
Okay, so can I ask for a point of clarification on that, actually?
Yeah.
Because patron could be like someone to buy their product or like a demon to worship.
Or
they're looking for someone to buy their product.
Okay, I just wanted to be
Okay.
sure.
I was hoping
and a
it was God.
patron can also be somebody who financially supports,
Yeah.
a patron of the arts. So we would probably want
Yeah.
to be.
And it might be a little bit of both. They're always looking for customers, but they're probably also looking for someone to kind of help support their business and their organization, in ways that maybe they can't at the moment, because they're definitely a little bit financially stretched at the moment. They're running low on funds,
Mhm.
and you think that probably if you were to come up and instead of an assault plan, if you were to try to do, it would probably be social plan, something like that, to try to get them to take some of your money, maybe, if you can afford to bribe
Sure.
them or something.
Yeah, we can't,
No.
but it's good to know that.
No.
So
I don't think
so
they're-
here, I think here's how this conversation goes with Silas. Perhaps Oscar and Wakasis walk back from an outing, and they're licking their lips with those delicious croissants that they've just enjoyed. And Oscar comes over to Silas, and he sits down. This is at the Gambit, I'm assuming, and says to Silas, "We've just been to the cafe. I understand you still want to punish your way through it, but I think that there should be a tinge of finesse. I don't think we'll get anywhere if we don't use some action. So I think you've got the right idea. But if we want someone to maintain the front, then perhaps we see who among them might be less loyal to the Foregowns, and see who might be willing to hold down the fort for us while we're away. Acquire an asset, if you will. Someone who's already got experience at the cafe, who would be a familiar face to the patrons, the customers."
Silas is definitely he kind of gives you this look like, "Do you just think I was going to kill everyone?"
Yeah, I did.
And he goes
Yes.
and I think that's fair to
Yes.
think that, but in this situation, he was more it's and he's like, I mean, yes, we need someone to operate the store after we take it, so, yeah.
Okay.
It's there's no, he's kind of what he's saying is basically, yeah, I mean, we don't have to kill everyone, but any foghounds there are gonna die.
Well, probably most of them. What Oscar is suggesting is that maybe we try to weed out which ones, instead of just going in guns blazing, we go in guns pointing and figure out which one is most likely to work for us, and then blaze the guns.
And Silas nods, he's like, what if the person at the register isn't a foreground? I mean, I'm not gonna kill him. I'll kill all the rest of them.
And what if they are? That's the
I'll probably
question.
kill them.
That's what I'm saying. I understand. I don't think you're wrong. I just think we need to address the situation, because we do want someone who, as Sithmaster says, knows how to make a proper espresso. And someone that is legitimately a good if I am a customer, a regular customer to the cafe, and I walk in on a Tuesday, as I do every morning, and I see that Cindy is no longer there. In fact, it is now Silas who is there. I'm going to be very concerned. So
That's true.
he's
Silas
just,
kind of yeah.
Oscar's totally down with punching people and shooting them and whatnot, but he's like, maybe we should try to keep one alive for the sake of having a business. So, yeah.
Silas kind of leans back. He's like, mate, I'll tell you what. I will keep one of them alive. As long as we need them.
That sounds fine to me.
And
Fuck
if we
the
don't,
nest.
I'm gonna kill him.
Just
Sounds
ended.
fine to me. They're nothing but smugglers anyway. You know how many times I've been to a crime scene and they've taken the shit already? They're the worst.
Yeah, it's like you guys are gonna walk up in there and just go one by one to everyone in the bar. Do you know how to make an espresso? No. Bang. Do you
Make
know
me
how
an
to make
espresso.
Bang.
It's probably gonna go
One
something
by
like.
one.
I can't wait. Cool.
So this is what, a social?
No, this is still an assault plan.
This sounds.
Just
still-
describe shooting them in the middle of the head.
It's social assault. Social assault.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
You.
Silas's socialness extends to killing,
That is a social interaction. You are.
especially for Silas. 80% of them.
Sociopath.
Yes.
Alright, let's do an engagement roll.
Okay.
Jump right into this,
Yeah.
this shenanigan. I'm gonna roll a d6, and we're gonna see how you guys start off.
Wait, shouldn't we? Do we get any bonuses from engagement, or?
From gathering info.
Determines it's a fortune roll using the vulnerability of the target as a trait for the roll. They're definitely pretty
Yeah.
vulnerable to this.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be more than 1d6.
They're too busy making croissants.
They're
Very vulnerable position.
yeah, and they're not really well fortified at the moment. You know,
Yeah, it's a
They're-
cafe.
Yeah, the cashier doesn't have like a shotgun taped to
Yeah.
the bottom of the desk, maybe.
yeah, not
You will.
not at this croissant cafe.
Not yet.
Say like a
Yeah.
week, maybe.
So
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
week
think
hold
that
or-
they're definitely weak to this. So yeah, 4 dice.
That's good.
Roll 'em.
Yo.
Oop, wrong one. There you go. Roll 'em, my boy.
4d6 to this.
Ow.
5.
You mean 12?
Alright. Yeah, 12.
12.
12.
Crit,
Off
baby.
the charts.
All right. So, okay. How to play this out? Because I imagine that it went something like, kind of like you guys were expecting. You walk in, and you know Silas probably. What do you think you would have done when you first walked in, Silas?
So I think it's probably important to say what load our characters are at right now, because Silas is at heavy load,
Okay.
and so he walks in, and he's kitted up. I think it's safe to say that as soon as he walks in the door, and I would almost, I'm gonna ask my teammates whether or not they would let Silas walk in wearing body armor and weaponry first. Because he's gonna do that. If no
I
one
don't know
says-
if we could stop you.
Oscar sees no fault in it.
So
we know
then,
what we're here for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we.
What about what cases do you? Because you.
Well, Cases didn't approve of the plan, so how we do? I mean, if we're gonna kick in the door and shoot people, then you should do that and go in as heavy and as loud as you can.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. What Cases is pragmatic about that part.
Yeah.
Although maybe he's right behind him and he's gonna find out who makes the croissants before we shoot them.
Okay.
Cases is like, okay, I don't want to do it this way.
Get on the ground!
I'll
Who makes
sue
the-
someone
You're
if
the
I have.
filter.
Where's the croissants?
Basically,
We hungry.
Hangry.
So we have
Silas.
Angry, yes.
the camera is inside the cafe. It's a calm day. There's people eating their croissants, drinking their espressos, and then the door opens. You hear the little bell jingle, and just silhouetted against the electric light of outside. There's a light blue glow of the electric light outside. You just see Silas standing there. And you get one line before we go to break. So what's your opening line?
He walks up to the cash register, and he says, "I need to see your manager."
And we cut to break.
Man, and did you have like the hair like with it's all like spiked up in the back, and you're like, I need to talk to your manager.
Manager.
He's
I'll
on the
wait.
counter. He's just like, "Excuse me."
Excuse me, I need to talk
Okay,
to your
manager.
manager. Like every soccer mom in the world. I wonder if Wacasis has like a. I also like when you say Silas is like silhouetted. I imagine Wacasis like peeking up from Silas and be like, "Who makes the croissants?"
Who makes the croissants?
My compliments to the chef.
All right, we're gonna
Don't
take a
shoot
break.
him. All right,
I'll
guys.
have him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, everybody.
Ooh.
Thank you for
Sauce.
watching for the first hour. We're going to be hopping back into it after a quick 5-minute break. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit the follow button, which is directly below Ian, so you can get updates about when we go live every week. Pro tip, it's most Tuesdays at 6:30 Pacific. But there's other stuff that we do as well occasionally, so make sure to follow us on Twitter and here so you can see all the updates about that. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. Don't go anywhere.